What's going on, everyone? So today I'm going to show you how you can create your very own website utilizing Editor X. So this video is sponsored by Editor X, and let me just show you the website that we're going to be making for today. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page so you can see all the effects that I added. So you can see we have some animations coming in with the text and the button. And then also if I were to scroll down here, we can see we have some animations with the image as well as the text on the left here as well. And then if I continue scrolling down, have this about section, and we have this image fading in as well as the about section with some content here as well. And as I continue scrolling down, we can see we have this grid design layout here, and this could be an image gallery or whatever you decide to customize this into. You can see here we have the animations loading in as well as little description button and then some images here displaying. And then also we have additional images here with some animations and some buttons as well. And if I continue scrolling down, we have this newsletter. So this could be a contact form, email sign up, collecting phone numbers, etc., whatever you want to add for your website. And then also if I hit submit here, it's going to ask you to actually input the information before you can actually submit that. And then also we have at the bottom is the footer. And then also if I inspect this page, we can see what it looks like on mobile view as well. So let me just zoom out really quick. And then we also have the drop down menu as well that leads to additional pages like this one. And then this is just the destination page I created here. So without further ado, let me show you how I created this website utilizing Editor X. So in order to get started, you're going to have to create an account. So if you don't have one already, you can simply navigate to Editor X website and then go ahead and click on Start Now. And then as that loads up, you can go ahead and create an email and then sign it up with a password, or you can go ahead and log in with your Facebook or Google account. So I already have an account created, so I'm just going to go ahead and log into that and then show you my dashboard once I'm logged in. All right, so here I am on my dashboard, and this is going to show you all the sites that you currently have. So if you just started, you're most likely not going to have any sites. And I'm gonna go ahead and create a new site. So go over here to this button and just click on create new site. And then once that loads up, we can go ahead and start deciding what we want to do. So here we can choose between Editor X or Wix. So I'm gonna go and click on Editor X. And now it's gonna ask you what kind of website that you want to create. So if you do have a particular niche that you want to choose, you can go ahead. So let me just go ahead and just pick one for this example. So just click on business. And once that loads up, you'll see that you have the option of going from a blank canvas, or you can go ahead and choose from some of their pre-built templates that they have already here. So if you did want to see all of these pre-built templates, you can just go hover over it and view them. But for this example, we're going to create one from scratch. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the edit button, and then it'll navigate us over so where we can start actually designing the website. So here we are inside of Editor X. So right off the bat, here is essentially where we will be creating our website and adding all the designs. And then I'll show you the additional details such as these options right here. So this is essentially showing you different viewport widths. So essentially this would be a tablet view, and then also the phone or the mobile view here as well. And then you can additionally increase the breakpoints, add breakpoints here, or then you can also customize the ones that you currently have there as well. And for now, let's just go ahead and just start designing. And then from there, I'll go into more details on additional things that we can add. So here is the section right now. And if you ever want to see your layout, essentially the layers on your website, you can go up to this little icon right here and just click on layers. And you can see here we currently have this page with a header, and then we have a section, and then we have a footer if I were to scroll down here. So right now, if you ever want to add something to the design of your site, you can just go to this plus icon and click on add elements. And right now we already have a section added for us. So what we can actually do is, if I go over here to this section, I can click on this, and then you can see here this button right here as well. If I were to click back, it called it the inspector. Essentially, this is where you can optimize for heights, widths, paddings, margins, etc. So right now, what I want to do for this is the hero section. I just want to add an image for the background. So here, I'm just going to close this out really quick. I'm going to go and click on add an element right here. It brings over the quick add option here. And what I'm going to do is just click on the image and just click it there. And now we have this image inside of our section. And then also if I go to the layers, you can see that it's within these sections. So in case you ever get lost and you're not sure where your particular element is, you can always go to this layers tab and see if it's located inside of the actual section that you're currently on here. Also, if you were to double click, we can rename this. So if I just call this hero section, That way I can actually identify what particular section I'm editing. So then I'll just leave this like there and I'll just close this out. So with images, what's really cool is you can actually manually drag it to whatever size you want and drag it to whatever position you want on the screen. And that offers a lot of customization in terms of the design. But if you wanted to, for instance, have this take up the entire background of this section, you could try manually dragging it over and then doing it like this, trying to make it perfect, but that might take forever and you might be off by a couple pixels. So the easiest way is just to click on this button right here called stretch, and it expands the image the entire width and height of your section. And now if you want to change the image, you can go here to click on change image, and then this will bring up an option. And for these pictures that I utilize for this website, I just utilize default pictures that are already utilizing Unsplash, and then also you can find media from Wix. But if you ever have your own media, you can simply just click on this upload media button, and then you can go and choose where your actual images are located from, so you can upload them from your computer, etc., Google Drive. And for now, I'm just gonna go here and click on Unsplash here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and look for an image that I wanna put in for my background. So here I'm just going to scroll down, and then also you can search for images as well, but I found this one actually on the front page right here. And if I just continue scrolling down, it will be right here in this little waterfall right here by HUALING, the name, and then I can just click on it and I have it highlighted. And I'll just go ahead and click on update. And then this will automatically change that image to the one that I had originally on the main design. So now, if I want to, I can go ahead and click on the plus sign again. And this time I want to add a title. So I'm just going to go and just drag it straight into the section. And right now we can't see it. So let me go and click this edit text button. And then here we can change the color right there with the A, with the line under it to white so you can see it better. I use the default Poppins font for this. And then let's go ahead, and this is a cool little thing you can do with Editor X, is create scaled text. So essentially this is responsive text. So if I click on scale, I can set the minimum value that I want the text to actually be. So for the first value, let me make it a minimum of 52. So let me click back on it, 52. And then I want the maximum size to be 80. And then I can pretty much just click off, and then you can see this is what text looks like. And then now I'm gonna go back and we can click on it again and just make sure everything is looking good. And we can also bold it if you wanted to, make it bigger. But again, it just depends on your preference, but I'm just gonna keep it regular. And then here, I'm just gonna go ahead and double click on the text, and this allows me to change the text. So I'm just gonna type in adventure awaits, and then I'm just click off. And now you can see we have this text right here. And then when you hover right there, you can see the little like cross arrows. You can go ahead and drag it out. And then here I can just drag this like this. And now I want this actually to span pretty much until the end of, let's see, let's just keep it like this for now. We'll create that later, but make sure we have a paragraph under this text, and then we're gonna create a button, and then I'm gonna show you this cool trick where you can essentially stack them on top of each other. So let's go back to the plus sign. Let me just drag in a paragraph here, and then just put it under this. And also I wanna make sure this is aligned with my logo. So by default, the logo has some spacing on the left. So let me just create it like this with, it looks like it's 4%. And then also the top, we have 70 pixels from the top of this section. And then here's my paragraph. It's very hard to see, but let me click edit text. Let's change the color to white. And for the sizing, let's do, let's see, let's change the scale and click on the A, and let's change that to 20. And then we have, this one is 32. And then here, let me just double click in the text, make sure I highlight everything, delete that. Let's just say explore the world with our guided tours. You can put whatever you want here. And now let me just click it, and then let me just drag it out. And then let's just scroll and make it, I like this positioning right here. And then you can probably do like 270 pixels from the top. And then this nice positioning right here. And then we can go ahead and click the plus sign again. And now let's add a button. So let's just drag this button in. And then you can't really see it, so let's go in. You click on this little paintbrush looking icon called design here. And then what we can do, change the fill and opacity. So right now the background is transparent. I want to make this like a custom color. So you can go here, they have default colors like this. But you can also click the plus sign, and then you can change this color to whatever you like. So I can see here, let's do like a little darkish type blue right here. I'll just go with this one. You want to copy that code, it's just OC4CED. Click on add. And then now what we can actually see now is this color is right here by default. And then I can just click X. And then we can go down here to the corners. Click on the corners, and by default it has every corner change. So all you have to do is just change one corner. So let me just say 4 pixels. And then I click out of it and essentially changes all of them. And then if you don't know, this essentially makes the corners rounded. So the higher the number, the more rounded it is. The lower, the less rounded. But 4 pixels is the one I'm going to do for this design. If you'd like to have a shadow on your button, feel free to enable one. But this one, since it's such a dark background, you can't really tell anyway. So I just left that off. And then I have the text here. I'm just going to go ahead and change that to white. And then we can just exit off. And also actually we can just put a hover. And let's just go back to the fill right here. And then we can just change the hover to like this darkish bluish default color here. But ideally, whatever your design is, you can go here and click the plus sign again and pick a custom color. But for now, let's just leave it like this. And then we can just go ahead and click on this button called change text. And then here we can just say whatever you want to. We can say, just say get started. And then if you want to navigate this, we can click on add a link. But right now we don't have any pages created yet, so we don't have the option of changing it. But if you wanted to change the link, these are all the different options that you have. So if you wanted this to link off somewhere to, like, for instance, like another website, you would paste that link here. And then you can choose if you wanted to open in a brand new tab or window or in the current same window. But for now, we'll keep that off because we haven't created the pages yet. But let me just click X here and then just click off. And then what we can do is actually just drag the button, match it over here, whatever spacing that you like. And then what we can do is click on this text, hold shift, highlight the next paragraph and the button. And once you do that, you'll see this cool little button called stack. So when I click on stack, essentially wraps everything inside of its own, think of it like its own box. So right now, if I click on this little blue 4 little dots, you can see I can just drag everything, and it's essentially it's like it's grouped together in its own thing. So that way you can go ahead and move this around. You want to put the text over here, you want to add an image, or vice versa, put it right here and make it centered. It's up to you in terms of your design. But for this example, let's just keep it like this, and let me just make it centered right here. And then what we can do is let's just double check and let's check out the, so if I click on this stack, actually what I want to do is let me just drag this to, let's make it like the entire length of the home right here. So let's do it like this. So it reaches about the end. And then here, let me just click on side the eventual weights. I'll just press enter. And that way we have the text on a double or another line. And now when I click on the tablet view, we can see that it maintains this size and then the spacing. And then also if I click on the mobile, we can see it looks like this. So right now, if we want to, we could actually just drag this and make it all the way to the end. Also, we could have just done that too on here as well on the desktop, where we can just drag it to the full width. That way on the additional smaller screens, it still maintains its sizing. And the cool thing is with mobile responsive, you can actually customize different looks. So if you want this to be like a color red on tablet, you can change this color, for instance, and let's just do, let me just show you for like example. Let's just make it pink. And then I click off. Now it's pink on tablet, and then it's also pink on mobile, but if I click on desktop, it's white. So essentially, think of it as whatever viewport and below will get the same properties. So anything at this breakpoint, or essentially this width, will pass down its properties down to whatever's below it, but it's not going to go above it. So you can see here it's like that. So also we can just go and do Command Z, or I'm just going to undo it. So we just go back to normal. So that's a cool little trick in case you're trying to do some customizations on like different screen sizes. And then that's pretty much, I'd say, the first hero section. So what we can do now is actually, let's do the header right here. Others call this nav bar, just depends, but we just click on this now. And in case you can't, something's happening, you can't click, you can just click on the layers and also click it here as well to select it. And then we can just change the design here, background. I'll just make this like a, we can make this like a default, just a default black here. And then we can just exit and then exit off here. And then for the menu, we can go to here, we can change the design of the menu, and that's the little paintbrush icon here. And for the text, we can click on the text, change the color, I'm gonna make it white, and then change it. And notice that it's not changing the color because there's a option here called clicked. And this option, if you wanna have it implemented, you can essentially, this is kind of like an active click. So like whatever page you're on, it would highlight it to a particular color. But for this design, I just want it all to be the same color, white. But in case you did need that, you can change that here. And then also if you want to have a hover effect. But yeah, I'll leave that for now. And then you can go in there and customize whatever you want to add. And then for the logo right here, if you have a logo, then definitely you can go in and upload your own logo. But what you can do here is just click on change the vector art here. And then you can go ahead and click on upload media, upload your logo. And again, if you don't have a logo, then you can just simply add a filler image. But for this one, I can just type in, let me see if I did, I just typed in earth. And let me see what comes up here. And I believe there was a little icon at the bottom right here that I clicked on. Just call this one's gradient meteor. Just add this to page. And the cool thing is about these default Wix or Editor X vector art is that you can actually change the colors of it. So like if I click on the paintbrush icon design, I want to change this to, let's say the blue that we created earlier right there. And then I want another color just to be white like that. And there we just have a little simple icon right there. And then now let's make sure we save this just to make sure everything's here. And then I can just put this travel. I'm gonna put -1 because I already made one called travel. So ideally you can name this whatever you want to, but then we can click save and continue. And now it's already published. So now we can actually, well actually it's not published yet, it's just saved, but now we can click on publish now here, or we can go here and click on publish as well. And now we can actually click on view site and it'll show us what it actually looks like on your desktop from this URL. And that's pretty much exactly what we have in Editor X. You can see here, we got the hover, and then also like this. So now let's go ahead and just click on done. And then we can go ahead and create a new section. So cool thing is, if we just go over here to click on Editor X, we just move our mouse near the bottom, you'll see this little blue plus icon called add section. You can just click it. And this one, I want to have it as a grid. So I'll just click on grid. And here you have a lot of different options in terms of design that you can add or essentially customize. So for this example, I want to have essentially text content on the left, and then I want an image on the right. So I'm going to choose this one called 2x1 and just apply it. And now we have essentially two boxes here. So again, I'm going to go back to the plus sign here, and I want to add from our quick add option, I want an image. So I'll just click image here. And then I can just stretch it because for this design, I just want to be full. And then we can go ahead and actually click on the image. I'm gonna scroll down because the image options here, change the image. And I'm using again a default image from Unsplash, but ideally you would go ahead and upload your ideal image that you want to use. But let's just type in waterfall in case you just want to like follow along and just get used to this Editor X. And then I'm just go ahead and press enter. And here, this one right here, just one by Jonathan Pye. I'll just click it and click on update. And once I do that, you'll see that it replaces this image here. And now we can actually go plus sign one more time. Here's the title again. So I'm just gonna go here and drag it. And then we can just double click here. And let's just call this one Discover. And then for the size, we can change this one to 24. And then I want to change the, let's go back to edit text. I want to change the color to the blue that we had earlier. And then I want to make this one bold as well. So now we can, let me scroll up a little bit because I want to make this aligned with the same alignment we have above. And then we can click the plus sign again. And then I'm going to add another title below this. And I'll just go right underneath it. And again, in terms of spacing, that's up to you and your preference. But you can literally drag and drop it anywhere you'd like. Here we can change this. Let's actually write that out first. So let's just say like experience the rush. And then let's just drag this button here to make it full or wider. And then I click edit text. And let's change this. Let's try 32 and see how that looks. I like that way that looks. And then we can actually go ahead and add another plus sign or a paragraph here. Click the plus sign, draw the paragraph. And then we can just double click this and let me just say get special access to our hidden waterfalls located deep inside the Arctic glaciers. Again, you don't have to add this text, you can just like add the filler, but here I'm just gonna have it like this, and then you can determine how you want the paragraph to look. So I'll just make it like a little wider, like this, there, like that. And then I want to click the plus sign one more time, and I can add another button as well if I wanted to. Or what I can actually do is I can just get this button up here. If your button is the same design, I can just do Command C and just copy it, click into this section and just Command Victory V, and then paste this right in. And then if you want to always double check, and notice this button, if I go back up, I want to edit it again in design, it has a visible border. So actually let's just delete this and let's just drag this just to make sure it's not visible. And then same here, click on this design icon, borders, just get rid of it, and then just to make sure we have the opacity like that. So now we zoom in, it's just straight up blue. And then here we can just click back on the button, click on change text, and then I can say like get tickets. And then again, if you had a different link, you would just go back to this link, link it to a website, another page, etc. on here, and then just click done. But we don't have that for now. And then if you like the spacing, we can do is just click again, hold shift, click on the text, the paragraph, the tickets, click on stack, and now we have control over this entire content. And then here if you want to adjust it, so like 64 pixels from the top. But what I'm gonna do, if you see, it's hard to see on my screen, but there's like a plus sign in the middle, and it looks like it's slightly off just by a little bit, but in terms of the actual measures, again, you can get super detailed with it. But right now, let's go ahead and make sure we save this first, and then let's check out, let's see here, something wrong. So maybe my internet, that could just be my internet for now, but let me just go click on the actual, tablet view, and notice how the text doesn't look the same. So what we actually do here, if you wanted to, you can add the scale text here as well. So if you want to go here and put like 28, and then here you can do like 20, and then click it, and then go back to this, you can see that it actually fixes that issue. Or if you manually wanted to go in, drag this out, decrease the text, you can do that as well. And then notice when I click on mobile, we're gonna have some issues. So the thing is, I want this to actually stack on top. So we can just click on the outer section here. And if you're having trouble clicking on it, or you have a smaller screen or a computer you're using, you can always go back here. And let me just double click this and just call this like the info section, just so you can see it and you don't get confused with the hero. And then you can just click inside of the actual info section, and then you can make sure that you have everything inside. But ideally, we just want to highlight this info section right now, and then we can click on adjust the grid. So here it gives us two options. Right now we're at 2 by 1, but we want to do this one 1 times 2. And then now we can actually go and just click back on our stack. And then again, if you're having trouble, just click on the stack here, it highlights it. And then we can just drag this up and look like right here. And then also this text here, we can just like drag it out the full width if you wanted to make sure that it doesn't have any issues. And then let's see again. So let's actually drag it up a little bit more. And now we have, let's see. Yeah, so it looks like the image is following up. So what a cool thing we can do here is I actually want to, let's go ahead and click on this inspector here. And then we can add some padding. So we can go here to the bottom here. And then let's add some bottom padding. We can just do like a 50. Just press it. And then now we have the spacing here. And then if I click off, click out of it, you can see we have spacing like that. And then we have the image here. And another cool trick you can do too, in case you have something that's just like way too big or just doesn't make sense on a phone, is you can actually click on this image here. And then let's see if we go on this 3 dots here, click on this, and then you click on don't display. So if you click on don't display on mobile, it's essentially just gonna disappear. So in case your design doesn't need it just for mobile, but you can go back on tablet or even desktop and see how it's still there. But on mobile, that's like that. So sometimes particular things like animations or videos might not make sense on the mobile. So you could do it like that. But again, I'm just gonna go back, and we can also, let's see, if we have already clicked don't display, what we can do is just go over to our left tab, click on the layers button, make sure you have that open, and we click this little eyeball just to make it come back, or you can just do the undos in case you wanted to bring it back. And then that's pretty much that we have so far for this section. So let's just save this, and then we can also just publish it, and it should automatically save as well. And then we can go ahead and check this by just navigating to the URL that we have. So I have it like this, and then you can see we have this like here. And notice for my desktop, this like section is still kind of showing in terms before it like folds over. So you can actually go here, and let's go back to the desktop, and we can just click on the image because it's pretty much, let's just click on the entire hero section here and highlight it. And then we can click on the inspector over here. And in terms of the actual height, it's set on auto right now, but you could do 100 viewport height, which essentially means 100% of the screen depending on the screen size. So a smaller computer, it will fit 100%, and a bigger computer it also spans 100%. But since I have the header on the top that's quite big, I'm just gonna set it to, let's do 85 viewport height. And then you just press enter, and it just changes it by default, the value. If it didn't, you can click on the letters and then actually pick your choice. And then you can see, you can't really see much right now, but if I hit publish and then it sees it's saved, I can click X, go over here, and then just refresh it. And notice, see how it now takes up much larger of space. And then also if we scroll down here, we can finally see it. So again, depending on your design, that might fit you, but if it doesn't, then you can leave that out. But that's just another option in case you wanted to. And ideally, most designs have usually 100%, give or take. It just depends on what you're trying to do. And now what we can do next is, let me just show you cool features that Editor X has. So everything right now we created is essentially from scratch, and we manually just did that. But the cool thing is, since we're utilizing Editor X, we have access to their pre-designed templates that they had. So we can go back and click on the add section here, and then we just leave it as a blank for now. And then also we can actually just drag in what we have here as well. But let me just do this so I can see it more easier. And then I'll just click on this add elements. And now here, this design assets won't really matter right now for this tutorial, but if you did need this option, you can see here the description in terms of reusing designs. But for now, we can see here we have different options. So we have this thing called compositions, and then also there's layout tools, there's text, there's buttons, there's menus, media, etc. But for now, what we need to focus on is this composition. So here you can see these are pre-built templates that are designed already by the team at Editor X. And essentially we can just click on like the about section here. And like this, there's one I like down here. Let me see if I can find it. Like this one's right here. This one looks pretty good. So what we can actually do is you can just like click it, and it just inserts into our project. So since we already clicked and created a new section, we can just click back on it and just delete it. But now I can just scroll back up, and you can see we already have this entire design. And again, they have different options. So in case you like something better, you can go and change it. But pretty much if I just go on the tablets, you can see it's already responsive for us. We don't have to do any work. All we need to do is just change the information here. So I'm just gonna click this image, click change image. And then for here, we can just go ahead and let me just type in, I think I typed in Arizona. And actually, I think that was on Unsplash. Let me just make sure. I type in Arizona. There's a lot of cool pictures you can see. And if you scroll down a little bit midway, we should see the image. I think it was, looks like it was this one. I think there's two of the exact same looking image, but we can just click this, and then we can just click on update. And now we have this image right here. And then we can go here and I'll just double click. We can just say like about, actually let me make sure I have it, about us. Here I'm just gonna leave this paragraph by default for filler content. And in terms of the button, I'm just gonna click delete, and then I'm just gonna copy in my button here. So again, if you have different buttons, you can make yours from scratch, but I'm just gonna Command C, and then I'm gonna go here and Command V. Now see, the issue is if I do this and I try to drag it over, it's not part of this stack. So if you hover over this, you notice this is a stack, and see how the blue outline, it's only containing the about us and the paragraph, but it's not containing this blue. So we could actually, the button, so we just drag it in. You can see the little highlight, and it says there attach to stack. and it just drags it in, and then you can just go here and like position it wherever you want. And again, that's one way to do it. And if you're having trouble with that and like something's going on, you can click here, click into the stack, and then you can literally just go in and drag it manually into the stack on this layers tab here instead, whichever makes it easier for you. So here I can just straight up change this, and let's just go to change text, and let's just put say learn more. And again, you can add the link if this navigates to something you wanted to, feel free. But for now, we're just gonna keep it like this. And we were essentially just creating an about section fairly quickly and didn't have to do much extra work because we just utilized their pre-built templates. So let's go ahead and add the next section. So this one again, we're just gonna go here and let's check out some of their additional ones that they have here. So we can go through here, we can see if you fit any of these designs, like services section. And the thing is too, a lot of their templates are pretty common in terms of website design. So it's nothing too, I'll say, custom. So a lot of these things you could easily just refactor or change up to fit your own style. Or if you just want to make something from scratch, you can get inspiration from it and then go ahead and make that from scratch. But here you can see we have the features tab. And this one I wanted ideally an image gallery, since this is kind of like a travel design website. And instead of me making that from scratch, I could just straight up utilize one of their features templates, but then just convert that into something that fits my site. So I'm just gonna click this one right here, and you can see we have this pre-built thing right now. And this is good that this happened. So this essentially appeared above the About Us. So in every case that happens, you can just click this icon. And right now, I don't know what these sections are because I didn't name them, but the only way I can tell is based off of the hierarchy where they're at. So I know if I click this, this is gonna highlight the features section. So I just double click. Let's just call this like the, I'm just call this like the image gallery, even though it has like info too. And then we can just call this one about section. So cool trick, we could just literally just drag it perfectly fast, just like this, and bam, we have it right now on the very bottom right below the footer. It was that easy. So again, if you ever have a like super large site, you just want to change the positioning, just literally drag it to where you want it to be. And then I can exit off here. So now in terms of this, let's just change this one to, let's do new destinations. Click off here. In terms of the button, I'm just gonna delete the button. I'm just gonna copy the button we have again here. And then I'll just paste this here. And I'll just drag in, make sure I have the blue highlights as attached to stack. And then we'll just push it right there. And then here we can change this image. So just change image here. And let's just go to Unsplash. And I can't remember exactly what I typed in. So let me just type travel, see if I find anything here. And if not, let's just go ahead and maybe check out the Wix and see if anything came up here. And this one, I'm just gonna click this blue image. I like this one here and just update. And then here we can do the same thing down here. We can just click on change image. And let me just do the media from Wix. I'll just say travel, press enter. And I think I use one of these first images just because it'll be easier for you to see. So like this one right here, solo traveler, you can click update there. And then here I can just go and change image. And then I can type in travel again. Maybe I'll see what I find. And again, you don't have to use the exact same images. These are just sort of like a filler image just to showcase the design. But again, feel free to use whichever image you want to. And I can't remember exactly where the last image was because I utilized again Wix's image, but I think it might be somewhere down here. But again, I think there's another image I can utilize too that's fairly the same. So just to save time, don't want to waste it looking just for an image. We can just pick this one like right here. This one looks pretty cool, and we'll just click on update. And now the cool thing is with these images, so like you notice by default, there's like kind of like a darkish tint to it. So essentially there's like a cover. You can actually go to the design and the fill opacity. And then if you want to change the background, you can do it here. But notice the image opacity is currently at 60. So if you want it to be the full original color, change that to 100. But I like it, the default ones, because it looks like actually I Command Z too far. I like it by the default. So let me go back, make sure I change this to 60. Because this makes it easier to read this text. So if you had easier text, so like a color was like a completely different color, then you can definitely utilize the original. But again, that just depends on your design. And then here we can just, this one I can just say like solo travelers. I can just delete this button here, and then we can just Command C, Command V paste, and just like paste this right under it. And also we can just click it and just stack them too. And then also we can do here and just say like let's see, double click experience bliss, and then also I can just copy here, paste, delete this, put it right here. We can hold shift, click on both, and we can make sure I have this actually. So it looks like this is actually already within their own stack because it would look like I put it in there already, so I don't have to do it. But if it didn't, just do exactly what I did where I hold shift and stack it, but it looks like it's already stacked. And then I can check that too by seeing that this, if I click it, yeah, we can see the button is stacked there. So that one worked by default, but the other one didn't, so that's showing you manually. But then here we can change the text, and let's just say join now, and then here we can just change this to get started. And now we can go down and actually check out the tablet now. So let's go ahead and check tablet, make sure everything is responsive. So here we just have the destination. So what I want to do is just add the scale text too. So edit text, change the scale. So 48 looks like it's good on there, but we can change this to like 32. And let's try it now. And let me make sure I actually added this. So it looks like 32 might be too big. Let me try 24. Let's see that. 24 looks much better in terms of the responsive. And then also we can check mobile. We can see it like this. And see how easy that was? We just had to drag in a template. And then we can just simply create the next section. So the next section is something that they have by default as well. So let's click on the plus sign. And then here, let's just add in a contact form. So a lot of websites utilize this. And right now you can see we have additional options down here, such as products, testimonials, banners, and pricing. But in case this fits your design, you can utilize this. But what I want to go is to this down here to contacts and forms. And here we can choose between multiple different options. So we have like the typical contact, a subscribe. So we could technically use this one. I used this one, this sales leads one, and I just customized it. So for this example, let me just click on this one right here. And by default, it essentially comes in as a stack. So what we can actually do is, let's just drag this. And to make it easier, let's just delete this. Let's just Command Z, and let's just delete this. And let's just click on this plus sign, add section, click on blank. And then let's just go back and re-add it. Or we can just click on add element just to make our life way easier. So then we can just go here and just click back on sales lead. So it's back right in there for us. So that's the easiest way to add in a form. And then here I'm just going to delete the last name, the company. For the text, I'm just going to double click this, change this to join our newsletter. And then cool thing is we can change this to a center. So I'm going to center line this here. And then also ignore this thanks for submitting, because that's simply there for the actual submit. So when you actually preview this live site, it's not going to show this. It only shows you if you actually submit it. And if you don't like this background, you can click on the section. So just click it and then simply just change the design. So like you want to change the background, that's where you would do it. And then we can exit off here and exit off here. And then let me show you here. The cool thing, let's just make sure I have no viewport height. So here we can actually, if you want to have like a minimum height, I'll just set this to 300 pixels. And then we can have it like that. And then I'll just click on this and then go back to our stack, highlight this, and then we can just drag this to the center. So you see the little plus sign, just make it centered. And then for this button, by default, it has this setting where it has a custom social success message. So for here, I'm just going to go to design, change the background to the blue we have already. And then also let's check out the text. Right now, font says Avon Light. So let's just change this to Poppins Extra Lights, and then I'll just make this bold, and then we can make this like maybe 18. And then we can just go back in design and just change the corners, change, let's just do that to 4 pixels. So let's just erase this, click it, and then perfect like that. And then we can go ahead and publish this, and let's check out what this looks like here. So I'm just gonna click X, go here, refresh the page, and then we can scroll down and we can see that we have this here, and if I hit submit, looks like it doesn't show the errors. So now we just essentially created a little newsletter form submission right here. And then again, there's a different customizations and features they have. But the last one is the footer. So let's actually click back on elements or the plus sign. And let's go check out, let's see, we got composition. And they have, by default, if you don't like the default header, you can go here and change your header, or you can create a custom one from scratch. You also have the footers and then also the sidebar. So if you do fit the sidebar design, then definitely go here and look at their design. But for footer, I like this one because the most sites I've made has like a typical structure like this. And then you can just simply, I'm just gonna click on this design. You can go through here and look at which ones, and you can actually zoom in, try to see them closer. But here, this one looks fine with me. And then again, I'm just gonna click back on the layers, and this one, I'm gonna click here and just type footer. And you're probably confused too why like this one's highlighted in green. And essentially they have this thing called masters. And if you've never seen this, think of this as like a global style. So like this is going to be the same thing on every page in your website. And if you were to make a change on this essentially global or masters section, it'll update it on every other part of your website that contains this. So right now, let me just go here, this footer, click on these 3 little dots, and let's just delete this. And then I'm gonna go here, drag this down, and then here we can call this one, let's just see this like email section. And for the footer, I actually wanna click on these dots, and I wanna set as master and click on footer. So now it has this highlight in green, and then if I click on this tab here, you'll notice we have header, and then we have 2 footers, but this is the one that we just added. So now when we create a new page, you'll be able to see this in action. But for now, you can change this one to like, just double click, adventure awaits. Again, you can get fancy with this, or you can completely delete this and just have social icons with this like right here. And they can just say here like 2020, and then we can just say, well actually here, let's just do 2020 adventure awaits, and then create on editor X, and then we can, I think that's fine here, and then we can just check the responsiveness to make sure it looks good. And then here, if you were to go into the social icons, you can click on set social links, and if you want to delete an icon, you can delete it and then remove the image here. But if you wanted to set the actual link, you just go to this little link here, click it, and then you would go and add in your actual custom link. So now I'm not adding any social media for this example site, but that's how you go ahead and do it. And now we can actually go here, go back to the top, click on publish, and just to make sure everything is looking good, I'll just refresh the page, and now you can see we have the footer. So in terms of the, essentially the main design is pretty much here. Now let me just show you additional things. So for instance, here is the pages tab. So we can click on this pages, and let's just create another page, because ideally you're most likely you'll have another page unless you have something only on a 1-page site. But here we can just call this one like destinations. I'll just press enter. And right now we are currently on the destinations page. So you notice like there's nothing here. So the cool thing is if I click on this footer, I can delete it, and I can go to masters, and then I can go, and I believe this one is the second one. I can't really see it from here, but if I click show on page, I can tell. And now you can see the exact footer that we just created. Verbatim, exact content, everything is on here. And if I were to make a change and change this to like another word, it would also update it on the main page, essentially the home page. So right now this is a new page. So let's actually go back to the pages tab and let's click on home. So let's go back to the name original page, and let me add this actually to our menu. So if you go over here to menu and hover and click it, we can click manage menu, and then we can essentially, you can see here we have this current one. You can change manage all menus or choose an end menu, but ideally we only have this one right now. And then here we can go and we can essentially go and click on show pages. And I want to click on destinations and apply this. So now we have the destinations here. So now if I click on destinations tab, I can change the link. And then right now it's currently like this, so it's fine. But for instance, if you wanted like this button, you can change the link here and we can go to page and then we can just change this to destinations. So I just click done really quick. Let's publish. And then we can hit done. And now this will essentially navigate to the next page. If I refresh this, it'll show the destinations. And now I just click the button and now it navigates to another page. So that's essentially the easiest way to link to another page on your site. So obviously you'd have to create additional pages and then customize that to your own liking. But the other thing too is the destinations page. If I go here, there's nothing on it. So for this example, I just want to show you another way you can add another masters. So let me just click back on home. And I'm just going to utilize this section down here that we created. Again, you don't need to create this as a masters unless you're going to end up utilizing it all over your website. But for this example, this is the one I just made it. So we can get this section here. And again, if you can't click it, just click on the image gallery tab. And then we can click on the three dots. And then we can go here to set as master and let's just click on section here. So now it's essentially highlighted so we know it worked. We can click on the pages, go to destinations. I can go here and technically, let me see if I can click on this masters and just go to sections, show on page. And looks like this second section, I don't want this, so let me exit off here. This empty section, just delete it. And bam, now we have essentially an entire new design. So if your website has other sections that would be able to reuse besides just the header and the footer, you can just do it like this. And then if I publish it, and then let's just refresh. Let me make sure it's actually finished first. And then I go here, refresh it. And then we can just navigate to destinations. And you can see we essentially have a whole nother page. So ideally you'd fill this up with your own content, but that's just essentially showing you another way to utilize masters. And then let me just click done here. And just remember, if it is a masters and you make a change, it'll update it on everything else. So if I change this one to like 1.2, click off and then hit publish. And this is currently only on the destinations page right now. So if I'm on home right now. So if I click destinations, you'll see, and let me refresh, make sure it says 1.2. And then if I click back on home, you scroll down, it also updated here as well. So just be careful what you create as a masters because it will change on every page that is displayed. So again, let me just erase that and then just click publish just to be sure we have everything good. And then just exit off here and it looks nice. And so far, let's go back to the pages tab, click on home. This is the majority of the design. Now I just want to show you how you can add some cool animations and then make your site look a little better. So here we can go to this text right here and you see this little icon and you hover over, it says animation. We can click this and I can actually drag this box wherever I want to. So I'll do it here as you can see. And then you have all these animations you want to add in here. So like fade in, spin, fly, fold, reveal, slide in, flip in, etc. So like slide in, I'll use this one for this design. We can customize this. So you want it to be from a different direction. So like you want to do from the right, you can play it, comes from the right. Since this is close to the left, I'm gonna stick with left. Power essentially like how hard the actual animation ends up going. But like here, we'll just do hard here. And then I'll do 0.8 and then we're gonna slide this in here. And then get delay. This site doesn't really need delays, but again, if you want like a particular animation to wait before like something loads, like if you want this to happen and then this one comes in way later or way longer than the previous one, then you can add a delay of X amount. And then also you can animate only on first time, but let me make sure I click 0. But I like this one, so I'm just click X here, click on this one, click the animation, and again, let me just for simplicity's sake, let's just keep a slide in as well. Customize it. Let's just do like what 0.75. Same. It's not too big a difference. From left, we can play it here, and then also the button. Let's click on the button here. Click on the animation logo, and I believe there's one called reveal that I liked here. Looks pretty cool. Customize it. Make it 0.8 seconds. And again, this is all personal preference. But if we click here and publish this, and I'll just exit off here, and then I'll just go make sure I'm all the way at the top. I can just go here, and you can see that we have the animations. So if you didn't like the speed of it, you can make it slower or even faster, or you can do it vice versa, and you can increase the speed too. So for this example, let's click on the image, and then here I'm just gonna go back on the animation. I believe I clicked, there was like this really cool looking image where it's like it flies in like this. Click on arc, and let's do 0.8. Yeah, let's do 0.8 seconds from right. Yeah, that was fine with me. And then here, we can actually animate this entire section, or you can do individuals. Like you want to just do like the entire thing, you can't do that as well. So I guess let me just show you this for this example, just because it'd be cooler to see. In case you don't like to individually animate like each specific word, and then we can just do like 0.8. We can play it. Looks good. We can always publish this and check it. But again, if you wanted to like have a particular animation per element, then again you'd have to do that individually. But if I go refresh, you can see here, and then we have the little arc and then a little fade in here. And then also we can go down here, image, I'll just do just like a fade in and customize this to, yeah, we can just do 75, that's fine. And then also for this, the animations are pretty self-explanatory once you've done it a couple times, but let's just do like a float in, and then we can change that to, let's do 0.8 here. So close here, and then here the same thing. We can just, let's do the stack. So I click here, in between it, highlights it all, and then we go down to the animation. We have all different, let's see, let's do, actually let's see if I do review. Let's customize and make sure. Looks like it's not highlighting the entire. Yeah, so let me make sure I'm highlighting the actual stack. And then we can go here, click the animation. It looks like the animation isn't working right now. Maybe my computer is just lagging. But instead, we can just do the individual ones too. And we can see it here. And let's just go here. Yeah, right now it looks like my computer might be lagging right now. So let me just try to save this. And then I'll just refresh the page really quick, see if that fixes the issue. So refresh, let me click back on the stack. Let me try to animate this. And floating in, bouncing. Yeah, so I'm not sure why it's not showing the preview, but let's try this with this image instead. Let's see if this shows it. Yeah, so right now the preview doesn't look like it's showing. So let me actually make sure I click it. Let's click publish, and then let's see if it actually shows on the live site, because this might just be an issue on my computer for this. But when I created this earlier, it didn't have any of these issues. Let me just refresh. Alright, so make sure this animation here is working. So yeah, it looks like it is working fine. It's just not showing the preview as I'm creating this, but you should be fine when you're creating this to see the actual thing. But as you can see, that it actually shows the animations here. And then you can go down and rinse and repeat. So like again, for this image, I want to just add animation here. We'll just have like a fade in, and then we can just go here, and let's do like 0.85. And let's go, okay, so let's go to this image here. Let's add animation. We'll just do fade in here as well. And then same for this, we can just fade this in too. So we just go here, fade in looks fine. And then pretty much that's the footer here. And then I'm gonna just preview this. And again, you can go and customize whatever animation you want to. But let's just go and let's just see what we have so far. So here we just have animations going here, some more animations, sliding in, the images. Now this is kind of crazy in terms of like the design. You probably want to have like a simple fade, and then like here, but I just want to show you like different alternatives. And also I didn't go all the way down, you can see it, but this phase here, and then you have the footer too. And then also the cool thing is, since this section right here is like a masters, if we go to the destinations tab, this also has the same properties where it animates just like that too, because it's essentially the same exact thing. And then we can click back on our logo and it goes back as well. And then if we inspect this, and let me just go zoom out on mobile. The one issue right now is the actual mobile menu. You can't see it. So actually let's go to mobile menu. Let's go to the top. So right here, click on this menu icon, then design. Fill colors, let's change this to white, the icon, and then click it, and then we're pretty much done with the mobile. So let's just make sure everything looks good and it's working. So I'll just inspect, well actually refresh, and then I'll inspect the page, and then we zoom out, and then you can see that we have our mobile menu, and then we click on destinations. You can see that it looks good here. So it looks like everything is working. And then if you wanted to get rid of this little create on editor X, or you wanted to actually publish this and have your own domain, then obviously you can go in and actually upgrade your websites. So you can check out their plans here as well, or click on upgrade now. But this pretty much is how I created this website utilizing editor X. So definitely go ahead and create your own custom design utilizing what I showed you in this video. And then again, there's a bunch of additional features on editor X that I didn't actually have to utilize, but for a majority of the design, you'd really have much of it done with just this layers, or essentially this quick add or this layout tools, compositions, text, buttons, and mainly this section right here is pretty much where you do most of that. But aside from that, this ends the video. So if you did enjoy this, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below what you think about editor X, and I'll see you in the next video.